I didn't wake up one day and decide to change everything. It started with noticing a pattern I couldn't ignore. A constant urge to check, scroll, or seek the next small hit of stimulation, and realizing that I was no longer in control. Most people think detoxing from dopamine requires extremes. No phones, no social media, no comfort. But that assumption misses the point. The brain doesn't respond to deprivation alone. It responds to recalibration, retraining what it finds rewarding and when. This is not about punishment. It's about reclaiming the silent levers that drive daily behavior. For years, I believed discipline was enough. I thought willpower could override the pull of notifications, instant gratification, and endless possibility. But willpower alone fails because it is reactive. By the time we decide to resist, the brain's reward system has already primed the next action. Dopamine doesn't wait for permission. Understanding that was unsettling, but it was also revealing. Dopamine is not about pleasure. It's about anticipation. It drives the pursuit of something that might arrive, that might feel significant. And modern life is designed to exploit that mechanism. Notifications, pings, unpredictable social validation, and constant novelty. These triggers don't exist to harm us. They exist to capture attention. The dopamine detox I tried did not remove these things entirely. It did something subtler. It removed the automatic permission to reach for them. It created pauses between impulse and action, gaps where choice could return. It began with small decisions, 15 minutes without scrolling after waking, not reacting to every ping, holding off on instant feedback. Moments that felt insignificant, yet compounded over weeks. Each pause allowed the brain to experience reward on a different schedule. Rewards became earned, not given automatically. The effect was gradual but profound. Tasks that once felt dull regained texture. Moments of stillness became tolerable, even restorative. The brain, which had been trained to chase constant novelty, began to revalue effort, patience, and delayed satisfaction. This approach does not require extremes, because extremes trigger resistance. The brain fights deprivation harder than it does recalibration. By simply adjusting patterns, introducing intentional gaps, and noticing what drives reward, the dopamine system began to rebalance naturally. Unexpected benefits emerged, focus improved, motivation returned in bursts that felt natural rather than forced. Pleasure was no longer fleeting or shallow, it was grounded in actual accomplishment and choice. The longer I maintained these gaps, the more identity began to shift. I was no longer someone at the mercy of impulses. I was someone aware of triggers, someone capable of choosing the rhythm of engagement. And that awareness was itself a reward, subtle yet unmistakable. This is the paradox of dopamine detox. It doesn't remove desire, it reveals it. It doesn't block the world, it shows which signals actually matter and which exist to pull attention without benefit. For 2026, the lesson is clear. Technology and modern life will continue to demand attention. Instant gratification will always be available. The question is not how to avoid it completely, but how to build the space where conscious choice guides reward. The detox that worked was not extreme. It was deliberate, measured, and iterative. It relied on observation more than restriction, reflection more than discipline. In small ways, it shifted behavior, and eventually, it shifted identity. So consider this. Which impulses are truly serving you, and which are borrowed from someone else's design? Where in your daily life could you introduce even brief pauses to reclaim control? Awareness does not guarantee change, but it creates the space for it. Notice, reflect, experiment, talk about it. Because the moment you understand the silent systems guiding your attention, you can begin to choose how you live, rather than reacting to how your dopamine is directed.